I don't think there's a best way. I don't think there's a good way to guard Luka Doncic in a pick and roll.
The Mavs obviously had to make a decision this summer whether to give him 5 years, $350 million. That's a lot of money to give a guy you don't think can stay in shape who's always going to be hurt. And let me tell you something. The only people know Luka Doncic is the Dallas Mavericks. Guys who've been with him for years or who are around him every day. He's a great player. He's a great player. But all us talking heads, they must know something we don't know.
We haven't heard from you yet. What have the last few days been like for you as the team trades away Anthony Davis and others for Luka?
It's been a whirlwind, so I can only imagine, or I can't even imagine, how Luka and AD and Max Christie and Maxi Kleber and obviously Hood Schifino was one of our teammates as well. So it's been challenging for sure, especially for me. Anytime I've had 6 years with AD, win a championship with my guy. Obviously one of my best friends, obviously. So, but it's a business, and you understand that. It's a business of basketball. We understand that, and I know he's going to do well down there in Dallas.
You add the man who is third all-time in points per game at NBA history in Luka. I know your brain doesn't ever stop thinking about basketball. What are your initial thoughts on what this team could look like with you and Luka at the head of the snake?
It's going to be special, I think so. We're going to attract a lot of eyes. Obviously, our ability to score, rebound, pass, it's going to make it a lot easier on our teammates. And that's all we want to do. We want to be able to create opportunities for our teammates where they only have to catch, finish, catch, dunk, catch, shoot. And it's our job to lead them every single night. Listen, Luka's a big-time player, 25 years old, haven't even reached his prime yet, and he's done some amazing shit in our league already. I'm happy to have him. LA's happy to have him. And it's still a little bit surreal, honestly, to be honest.
A little off topic here, but trade deadlines this week. You weren't here the other night, and the trade that kind of shook the whole NBA went down. What did you think of the Luka trade and your thoughts on just the business of the NBA?
They say that nobody knew about the trade. Yeah, so that's crazy. At 25, they traded probably the best scorer in the NBA at 25. And he didn't know about it. So it's a lot more digging somebody got to do to find out why he got traded. Because you don't just trade him at 25. He just went to the finals, you know what I'm saying? So I feel bad for Luka, man, because I saw some on YouTube that said he just bought a crib and everything in Dallas. So that sucks, man. That sucks.
Does it inform you at 23?
Everybody get informed. Yeah.
I was gonna say
I'm scared.
How you see the league?
Yeah, I'm scared. Tim, hey, if you're gonna trade me, let me know, dog. When Luka got traded, anybody is able to get traded at that point.
Before the game, Finchie was saying that they were very happy with their investment in you. Does that give you at least a little comfort?
Usa, thank God. I just bought a crib too.
I didn't. I texted him. He felt it. I mean, of course, I think he didn't expect it. Of course, it's. I think he just needs to be with his family right now. It's a big move. It's a business. I don't know. I think nobody expected, especially not him. I think nobody's safe in the league. It seems like, but I think he's gonna do a good job. I think he's the player for the big scene, even though I thought in Dallas he had something special going.
And the second question was if this trade opened up his eyes to the business side of things, and the reporter added some longer words in it that Nikola Jokic didn't quite understand until he simplified it for him.
You said a lot of words that I don't understand. Translation, what it means, I think... I really don't know what to answer. I think, one team wanted to change and the other team wanted to change and they wanted to make something big and they did it. I think it's definitely one of the biggest trades probably I'm not going to say in history, but let's say last 5, 10, 15 years, I don't know. But it seems like nobody's safe and probably should be that way,
And lastly, Jokic had a pretty simple answer to if he thought the Nuggets had what they needed to win the championship.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Pleasure like always.
Insane. Well, it's crazy. Yeah, would have never thought Luka Doncic would get traded at this age, mid-season. Yes, NBA is a wild place, man. If he can get traded, then anybody's up, for grabs, So, yeah, so the fans, somebody spectating is pretty fun. I know it's kind of nerve-wracking, probably for Luka and everybody in Dallas, LA, AD. So everybody involved, I'm sure, their heads are spinning right now.
And just as a player, does this kind of underscore the transactional nature of this business?
It's always been transactional. The players are held to a different standard of loyalty and commitment to a program. But the organizations don't get held to that same standard from the outside world, either whether from media members or fans. And we all should be held to that same standard. Like, it's a transactional game. There's a lot of money involved, a lot of business involved too. So we shouldn't be too shocked about trades or guys moving to different teams or coaches moving to different teams. It's just the nature of playing basketball and us making this much money involved too. So it's pretty wild times, man, in the NBA, especially around trade deadline time. I know everybody's gonna be watching their phone the next week. We got 5 days. I know everybody's gonna be following the updates. So yeah, it's crazy.
Do you feel like this shifts the balance of power at all in the West?
Yeah, I mean, you got two.
About to have Luka and LeBron playing.
Yeah, like you got Luka, LeBron, Reeves, you got Kyrie,
and D, right?
Gafford, live man, shit. Yeah, it shifts the balance. So many great players, two great players just got moved. It's just, man, I just can't wait to see it all on the floor and see, hear from both of them too. I know that first time talking is gonna be an eventful time, So wow.
And they went to the finals last year. I mean, does that underscore it even more? Like, this team just went to the finals and their best player just got traded.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I dealt with that too. Coming out the finals and you trade a huge part of your team, and it just takes something away. It takes something away. It takes your identity away, especially when you have success. You got to kind of reshape your team and figure out who you are as a unit. A new guy coming in, but they got veteran players over there. Kyrie's a champ already. AD's a champ, so I'm sure they'll figure it out pretty quickly. But it's just the nature of the sport, man. Anything can happen, man. Keep you on edge.
Do you think it'll force other teams to do something big?
For sure. I mean, you start seeing stuff like that, and you, as an organization, you might get a little bit more courage to do some stuff when you see another team trade away somebody like that.
Right.
This got to be the biggest trade I've seen since I've been in the league or since I've been watching the sport. This was insane. So yeah, every other team might get confidence and say, "Fuck it, I'll trade my." You know what I'm saying? My top players, a few of my top players. Fuck it, this ain't working. But yeah, I'm still shocked.
How did you find out?
Last one.
Man, a couple fans was just on their phone during the game in the fourth quarter and just said, Luka got traded. I'm like, the fuck? Then our security guys showed me his phone. I'm like, oh, yeah, I seen Shams. When Shams tweeted, it's the show. But like I said, crazy league. Looking forward to the next couple days. It's crazy, man. I really don't know what to say about it. Luka being a guy that everybody's claimed is untouchable and untradeable, and the NBA shows you again.
Right.
Just can't predict it. It's a business. They're always having a conversation about you. So don't think you're safe at any point.
Do you feel like this shift power balance or anything in the West?
I mean, you have to let it play out.
I said no.
They have to build chemistry on both sides. So, I'm interested to see how it turns out. I'm sure the world is too. So, building the business.
I mean, you've been on the finals team before, though, but to see a team that was in the finals make a move like that, obviously you've said it surprises you, but does it add anything to what just happened that they made the finals last year?
That's on them. That's their decision. Might have been how it turned out in the finals, what they were seeing, whoever's making the calls over there. So, but AD's a really good player. Probably my favorite teammate to play with this summer on the Olympics. So, both teams got great players, obviously.
And how'd you find out? We saw Damian leave, found out from someone in the stands. Like, you guys went on the bench. What happened there?
Yeah, somebody told us on the bench. Said Luka. I said, Luka Garza? Who got traded? No shade though.
Right, to Garza, right.
But, yeah, crazy.
Well, Kyrie, obviously we want your thoughts on the Luka trade. And, just first thing, what was your reaction when you found out?
Just really shocked and, just don't imagine that you're going to get ready to go to sleep and then you find out news like that. So it's still a grieving process right now. Miss my hermano. We had a lot of time together. Keith too, and Maxie. And, we just built some bonds that went beyond the basketball court. So if anybody can understand at home, when someone or a few group of people or, a few people leave in a trade, it's going to be difficult. And that's what we're dealing with right now. But, this is a business. It's way above my pay grade. I just got to adjust and be ready to welcome in my new teammates with open arms and kind of be ready to go back to Dallas too, to speak in front of our fans. I know they're feeling it too. I'm feeling it too, guys. It's just an adjustment period, and I don't want to downplay this either or disrespect our new guys. They're going to help us win and going to help us build towards a championship. But just like everyone else at home, when you kind of see it from afar, it hurts.
What were you doing when you caught wind that it was going to happen?
Trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with all this and put my best foot forward as one of the leaders of the team. So this is a weird case in NBA history to be a part of, but at the same time, it's the nature of our business, and it is a ruthless business. So you just got to be ready to pick up the pieces and still run towards the championship. That's the ultimate goal on why I play. And, having other guys that are championship winners too helps. But at the same time, we still have to acknowledge that our little Slovenian president is no longer here, and we got to adjust.
A lot of talk about you and Anthony playing together for a long time, going back to Boston. What is it like to finally get the opportunity to do that now?
Yeah, I'm excited. This is a part of my career where I don't have as many years playing. I'm not in my early 20s. So, I look towards the future quite often, and my place in it, my position in it, how I can help other guys in the league. And getting AD, getting Max Christie definitely helps my motivation and keeps my mentality very strong. He's a great player, Anthony Davis, in terms of MVP candidate, and I'm going to help him as much as I can, not just on the court, but off the court. So I'm just ready to open up the doors, welcome these guys the right way, and still at the same time be human and understand my emotions are still involved in this. We just went to the finals, we just had a good run, but still there's still excitement on the other end of that.
Anthony said that you guys talked in 2018 about the possibility of playing together. What's your
what
sense
a year,
of?
huh?
Yeah.
What a year, huh? 2018 for me, man. Yeah, what a year. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's your sense of just what can you just say about that, those discussions?
Then I was caught in the hallway talking to KD, and everybody was like, hey, these two are working together. And then the rumor started with AD, kind of around the same time. And we all had that vision to play together in Boston. Danny Ainge had a large responsibility in that, trying to make it happen, make sure that I stayed in Boston. But we had some young pieces, and JT and JB, and we would have traded either one of them. Who knows if they win a championship? So the franchise had to do what's best for them, and I had to do what's best for me. So then it didn't necessarily make a lot of sense because the pieces and assets we had. But I think now, in our older age, as they say in our league, we get a chance to do something we envisioned a while ago when we were young kids. So it's exciting now.
AD in Boston at one time.
Yeah, that has no foreshadowing either. on anything, guys. Just letting you know that right now. We were discussing in 2018, just for everybody at home that's watching, because I know all these words are going to be looked at. But yeah, in 2018, it was like a dream for, Kyrie, AD, KD to be on one team and still keep JT and let him grow and then, see how it goes. But back then, those young guys weren't ready to be in trade rumors, man. Our locker room splintered after that once they found out. It wasn't JB or JT, but just our locker room splintered once they started figuring out the trade rumors, and then our season kind of started going a whole different way.
What did you want to know from Nico when you talked to him about why this trade was done?
Like I said, it's just above my pay grade. This is something that was in the works without a lot of people necessarily being privy to the information and knowledge. So as a player, you can only do but so much. I reached out to Luka, made sure that he was good, made sure his family was good, and it was time to move forward. And also Keith and Maxie, I don't want to keep forgetting them. They had a huge position in our team, responsibility for us making it to the finals last year, keeping everybody sound, mind, body, spirit. So now that falls on different guys, and guys are going to have to step up, including myself, and be ready for this adjustment period, which is going to be great regardless, but at the same time, it's going to be some healthy mistakes along the way as we integrate everybody into what's going on.
The shock is probably worn off a little bit, but how is the locker room right now, and has it sunk in? How are you feeling, just the team in general?
Yeah, we're putting the pieces together. And the tone is improving, just because everybody had questions, a little confusion, that's about it. We're just talking to each other, making sure we're all good, and putting the game first, and in the capacity where we can prepare, and then off the court practices and some dinners that we'll have. Make sure we connect and make sure we do all the things to have the qualities of a championship team. So same vision, just guys in the locker room a little bit different. We're gonna have to adjust, but we'll be fine.
Luka, welcome to Los Angeles. I'm curious, what's your reaction been the last 48 hours to some of the comments coming from Dallas on your way out the door to join the Lakers?
I'm just excited, to be here to start this new journey, and obviously at some point I knew this was going to happen, but I would say I always take the high road. I had my amazing moments in Dallas with all my teammates, coaches, and most importantly the fans. They always supported me, and it was an amazing journey.
Luka, Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning News. So you wrote a Dear Dallas letter to fans that was, very heartfelt, and you talked a little bit about, your shock. How are your feelings toward the upper levels of the organization, Nico in particular, or the decision to trade you?
Well, that's their decision, so I have no comment on that. They made the decision. I don't know why. But that's their decision, so I can't do nothing about it.
And then one of the reasons that was given was that there was concern that, beyond this summer, or that there's a chance you might not agree to the Supermax extension. Did you or anyone on your inner circle indicate that might be the case?
Absolutely not. It's easy as.
Sorry. Do you think you had something to prove?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Yeah. That's it. Win the championship. You don't come here for nothing else than championship. So I have everything left to prove. So, and the goal is to win the championship. Everybody was surprised. So you can imagine how surprised I was. I was almost asleep. So when I got a call, I had to check. It was April 1st. I didn't really believe it at first, and it was a bit shock. It was hard moments for me. It was home, so it was really hard moments for me, especially the first day. But as I said, I get to play in the greatest club in the world, and I'm excited for this new journey. Yeah, I would say, like you said, I thought I was going to spend my whole career there because I think loyalty is a big word for me, and I was trying to stay by that. But this for me is a fresh start. I get to play in LA. The fans are amazing, and I got the ocean here, so it's a really big thing for me. But really, I'm really excited to be here. getting to play for the Lakers. Not everybody can say that, and many legends passed here, many championships. So that's my goal.
How do you address the criticism that's followed you on your way out about concerns about conditioning and durability?
It's a motive. I know it's not true. I know, but it's a motive. Like I say, I came here, one of the biggest clubs in history of sports, so it's a big motive for a long run here.
Over the last couple of days, I talked about your conditioning, but maybe your lack of defense. What is your commitment to being a better defender?
Yeah, I think this year I really stepped it up honestly, and it's just being more active, more vocal, and I think I did a step ahead this year, but I need to do more steps ahead. So that's what I'm planning on.
Luka, Kobe Price, SoCal News Group. Welcome to LA. Got one for both you guys. First for you, Luka. I think you even wrote in a social media post that you thought that Dallas is going to be a place that you're looking forward to win championships, staying for your career. Emotionally, what have the past 48 to 60 hours been for you in coming to LA?
Well, it was hard first. That first day was really hard. I felt like this last 48 hours was 1 month. Like 2 days ago was 1 month ago. So emotionally, it was really hard. But every day that like today was much better. I'm just very happy to be here for this opportunity. It's the Lakers. It's one of the best clubs in history. So I'm excited to be here.
I'm sure you're drinking through a fire hose right now, but what was it like being out there for your first shoot-around?
It was great. I already know some of the guys, some of the coaches. Unfortunately, I can't play tonight. I'm excited to get on the floor with these guys, though, but it was a great shoot-around.
What was your thought process Saturday night when you found out about this, assuming that was when you found out about it, and sort of how have you processed things over the past couple of days?
When did I get to Dallas? I mean, it's nothing. Obviously, it was shocking just because I didn't know. But after the shock factor wore off, then I knew it was time to get to Dallas, get to the physical, see the doctors, and then get ready to get back to get on the floor with these guys.
Anthony, what can you just say about how far back the relationship with Nico goes, and what's that relationship like for you?
Yeah, Nico known me since I was in high school. Obviously, one of the guys I got close with when I signed with Nike. And then to stay close throughout the years, even at this time here, we remain good friends, and and then now it's kind of come back full circle, with us, being together here in Dallas, and it's gonna be fun.
How excited are you to get the chance to play with Kyrie Irving?
I'm very excited. I mean, me and Kai talked about this. I think in 2018, when I asked for a trade from New Orleans, he was in Boston, I think, at the time, and he ended up leaving, going to Brooklyn. But we've been wanting to play alongside each other for a very long time, and now we got the opportunity to do so.
What have you seen from this team from the outside that now
To be completely honest, I haven't watched Dallas on the outside. Besides the times that we play them, I get ready to start studying them. But I think for the most part, just knowing these guys and knowing how hard they play, know how great they are defensively. What I can bring to the defensive end and what I can bring to the offensive end as well. I mean, J. Kidd, I had him in L.A., Duds. So I'm pretty familiar with the offense and defensive schemes that they run. Obviously, there's little tweaks, that he brought here for himself. But for the most part, I'm very excited. It helps a lot. Comfortability, of course. Being able to talk to him, through any and everything. On both ends of the floor, what I like, what I don't like, what's already in place. I'm not trying to come here and disrupt anything, just trying to add value to what they already have. So, but having him, as the captain of the ship, definitely makes my life a little easier.
What's your sense of how much power forward you're going to play here? They got 2 centers already on the roster. What's just kind of your sense of that?
I think I'll be playing a lot of 4. Obviously Derek is dealing with the injury, but Gaff has been playing phenomenal. So I think that's the plan, but obviously, we'll see how it goes.
Is that something you want?
The Nico talked about elite defense. From your perspective, what is this team capable of now?
I mean, Yeah, I mean, not just myself, but adding Max Christie as well, who's great defensively. You got PJ, who's great defensively. Quinn, who gets into the ball. Daniel Gafford, who's great defensively. Derek when he comes back. So it's, we have a lot of pieces defensively that they're already a great defensive team. So I think just adding someone like me just adds to their value.
AD in 2014, I believe you did play with Kyrie and play both at Team USA in the FIBA World Cup. What are your recollections of playing with those guys?
And that was so long ago. I know we won gold. So it had to be good. But obviously, what Kai's able to do. I think in our final game, I think he had 30, if I'm not mistaken. So, he was MVP of that game. We all know what Clay is. Great shooter, defender. Does it all for them. So, it's good to be reunited with both.
I know it's a long time. Were there any team bonding kind of moments maybe you remember?
I don't even remember, man.
Are you,
yeah. I'm in a fog right now. Yeah. So, yeah.
How are you for Thursday?
I didn't hear.
How are you for Thursday? Can you play Thursday?
I'm going through a workout today, see how I feel. And depending on that, get another one in Wednesday, tomorrow, and then depending on that, see how I feel. If not Thursday, then more than likely Saturday at home.
Are you excited to get back to playing power forward most of the time, if not all the time?
Right now, I'm just excited to get back to playing basketball. Obviously dealing with the whole trade thing, but also just the injury. Anytime that I'm out on the floor, I feel better. But I haven't played power forward in a long time. With another big, besides some spurts in LA, with Jackson. But to be back, naturally at the floor, I'm excited to see how it goes.
You gave up your trade bonus as part of this deal to come here. Obviously, that was your choice. What led you to decide to do that?
Trying to help the team. Obviously, you always want to get better. And losing a monumental piece like Luka, obviously, it's a lot, right? So just trying to do my part and help, Nico and the organization on, how we can continuously getting better. I just thought it was the right thing to do.
As part of that, your expectation, more stuff's going to happen this week to try to get
I don't know. You got to talk to Nico. I'm not sure. But I did it, just in case.
You mentioned being in a bit of a fog still, understandably. What was your emotion when Rob called you with him and JJ the other night? Were you as shocked as
I was shocked.
everyone else?
Like I said, I didn't know. I was actually at home about to watch a movie with my wife and got the phone call. So I had no idea. I just sent the team text about congratulations on the win against the Knicks, big win, and then looking forward to Tuesday's game against the Clippers as far as standing purposes, and then found out an hour later I was no longer with the team. So I was in shock, obviously. Had no idea that it was happening, but now is I'm kind of over it and just kind of getting ready to play with Dallas.
What was that initial conversation like with Nico? Obviously, you had a history with him and JQ.
Yeah.
Just about the opportunity you had.
Yeah. Obviously excitement. Nico believes in me, what I can add to this team. I'm not going to play everything that we talked about out there, but we're both, extremely excited about what we can do, and, I think we have a great opportunity to win a championship.
Thanks, AD.
Yep.
Thanks,
All right.
AD.
You're welcome.
JJ Redick, a former teammate of Luka Doncic's on the Dallas Mavericks, and now he's head coach on the Lakers, reacts to the star players' trade to the Lakers.
Yeah, obviously I got word that day that it was happening, and certainly a lot of mixed emotions, particularly around the loss of family members. And, AD, Max, Jalen, they were part of our family. And then there was also the excitement of getting a Luka Doncic and adding Maxey and Markieff. And, it is, as much as we can hyperbolize this trade as the craziest trade in sports history, it really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to trade for a player of Luka's caliber in his prime.
Obviously, there is the one element of the business side, and then to your point, the human side. How do you balance and process those emotions as you do have a job to do?
I try to do it with empathy, and I try to, as best I can, give our players empathy, and the players that were traded empathy, and also the players we just traded for empathy. I've lived through a lot of trade deadlines. I've been traded twice. I've had really close friends traded. And I recognize that, you don't wave a magic wand and everything's okay a day later. Like this is something that is a process and it takes time. And our group's committed to making sure we get this right.
When it comes to the magnitude, as you just touched on, you're also a historian of the game. You're a fan of the game. Have you had a moment to be able to just kind of step back and really feel what just happened?
Unfortunately for me, this last month has been a lot. So I'm not in the reflective process, reflective mood just yet. My job is to coach this team tonight, try to get Luka acclimated and get him back on the court, and continue to build what we've built over the last month as we head into All-Star break.
Obviously, as a former teammate of his, now speaking of Luka, what excites you most to coach him?
Playing against Luka, playing with Luka, playing against LeBron, coaching LeBron, playing against Kobe, like the killer mentality, the competitive nature. Rob mentioned his alter ego on the court, and it really is. Like he becomes an absolute killer on the basketball court, and getting to coach that will be a lot of fun.
Obviously, a great win for you guys tonight, but if you could kind of start with Saturday night and just when the news came down, your reaction and just how you've been able to kind of manage your emotions over the last several days.
Saturday night. Well, my emotions are all over the place. Obviously, we had just come off a big win, huge win in the Garden. I was out. You got some report. I was out with my family at dinner and I got the news. And first time I heard it, I thought it was for sure fake. That was a hoax. People messing around, whatever. But then when AD called me, AD FaceTimed me, and I talked to him for quite a while. And even when I got off the phone with him, it still didn't seem real, and it still pretty much didn't seem real until saw Luka today, and then I saw a clip of AD at the Dallas shooting. That's when it finally hit me like, oh shit, this is real.
The one thing we've always said about you is I feel like you've seen and heard it all.
Yeah, I ain't never seen this. I've seen it all up until this one. I've never been a part of one transaction like that. That was different.
Obviously, as a leader and with such expectations, even for yourself in this franchise, how were you able to then just kind of regroup for yourself and for this team tonight?
There's a job at hand still. At the end of the day, I got to make sure that these guys are ready to go. We're a damn good Clippers team, super well coached, great players. And we wanted to end this road trip off the right way. Going 5-1 on a 6-game road trip is very challenging, and then to end it having to come, from New York, 6-hour flight a couple days ago to come here and win this game was a big time for us.
You and AD clicked immediately on the court and seemingly off the court. Mm-hmm. Just how do you sum up the partnership you guys have had?
Great. It's great. It's everything and more. Literally became brothers over the last 5.5 years. We was able to accomplish on the floor, obviously that goes without saying, but more importantly, what we was able to accomplish off the floor, just us growing together, knowing each other's families, seeing each other grow, seeing each other's kids grow. It's pretty unique. I was at his wedding when he got married. It was special for sure.
What do you kind of view your role, the best way you can help Luka get assimilated with the Lakers?
Whatever he needs.
LeBron, through the last few days, we've heard everyone from Steph Curry to Anthony Edwards and on and on and on just express so much shock. The 25-year-old generational talent who's been a 5-time consecutive All-NBA player, led his team to the finals last year, could get traded like this. How are you on that scale of shock?
Something I haven't seen before, obviously, but it was shocking when I heard the news, but at the end of the day, I understand the business of basketball, but I didn't make the decision, so. But it was just, shocking in the sense of who was involved, obviously, with Luka and AD. I don't know. I don't have much words for it.
You guys have 22 seasons, and
obviously seeing a lot go down. AD obviously is not only a teammate, but you won a championship with him and a very close friend off the court as well. Can you reveal just sort of what went down during that FaceTime interview in that moment?
No, I mean, that's on AD. I don't want to, he called me in confidentiality. And if AD wants to, talk about that moment, but it was definitely a weird, uncomfortable truth moment for us. Just knowing that he was going to be gone, that was very, very difficult, very challenging. I could see how in shock he was, obviously, and probably seen it from my face as well. So.
You're at a stage in your career, you're 40, or not you're 40, I'm sorry, you're 40 on Earth.
Yeah.
You're 22 in this thing, where you know that there's going to have to be a next at some point for a place that you play. To have this opportunity to graduate from the next, how energizing is that? I'm sure there's a lot of complicated feelings right now, but are you energized by it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard right now to kind of digest what what it's going to look like on the floor. Obviously, two selfless competitors. Love seeing the success of our teammates. Luka's been my favorite player in the NBA for a while now. I think you guys know that. And I've always just tried to play the game the right way and inspire, the next generation. And Luka happens to be one of them, and now we're teammates. So it'll be a very seamless transition.
I understand that you and Luka are generational talents. What do you think it will take for this partnership to be really productive as best as can be?
Whatever we want it to be. It won't take long. Play with anybody. I think you can as well. So we'll work well together.
Last two. About what comes next, and obviously Luka being a part of it. Is there any part of you that's kind of concerned that, already there was some debate around this team, right, about how much of your future do you sacrifice to kind of go all in and kind of maximize your window? Any concerns that because you've brought in a young star, that some of these priorities kind of might shift more towards the future rather than the present?
What's wrong with that? If I had concerns about it, waive my no trade clause and got about it.
And this,
so you still feel like you said earlier this year, right? You still envision yourself finishing your career here? Or is that so?
Listen, I'm here right now. I'm committed to the Lakers organization. I'm here to help Luka and Maxey make the transition as smooth as possible. Smooth been here before, so he already know we won a championship with him in 2020, so I ain't worried about him. But as a leader of the team, as one of the captains of the team, it's my job to make it as seamless as possible. So.
Brian,
Last question.
With you being a leader, one thing I've always noticed, you being able to control and dictate the pace of the game. When did that start happening for you, being able to control and dictate? Because a lot of superstars can't do that.
Yeah, being able to see plays before they happen, never being too sped up, not letting the defense speed you up, but also just, I guess I was taught the game the right way from my little league coaches all the way into, my AAU coaches to my high school coaches. They just taught me to play the game the right way and being able to, telling you you're not a leader unless you can inspire the guys around you, you can put guys in the right spot, and you can calm the noise when everything else seems just too much. So I've been blessed to be able to play the game and be coached by the right guys and kind of see things before it happens for times.
Thanks, LJ.
I think the most shocking thing about this trade is a couple things. Number one, you never trade stars for stars. I'm trying to remember, I've been in the NBA for 40 years. Normally when you trade a star, you get a bunch of junk back. This is the first time I can remember where you got two all-NBA players traded for each other. Obviously, I don't remember every trade, but I'm trying to think. You guys got a great staff there behind the scenes. I don't remember the last time we traded probably never will you trade an all-NBA player for an all-NBA player. So that's probably, and the second thing is, normally when stars get traded, you hear a lot of rumblings and you just put them up for the highest bidder. So I think those are the two first aspects of this trade that are shocking. Star for star And normally, like, they didn't go for the highest bidder. They went for a quick deal and it was over.
Would you have taken a different approach there? Would you have gone to other teams to at least see what's out there? And then if Anthony Davis is the best deal, the best player you can get, that package was the best, you go with it. But at least go see what's out there.
Well, in fairness, they got a hell of a player. Anthony Davis is an all-NBA player. Like, that kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Like, if they take another deal, they might get a bunch of draft picks and a couple role players. They got an all-NBA player back. So they, unless you get Joker, Giannis, I'm trying to think, all NBA players.
Embiid be the only other guy, but you're not taking Embiid.
What?
No, you're not taking Embiid with his injury history. So they got a really good deal. Now, listen, the Mavs obviously had to make a decision this summer whether to give him 5 years, $350 million. That's a lot of money to give a guy you don't think can stay in shape who's always going to be hurt. And let me tell you something. The only people know Luka Doncic is the Dallas Mavericks. Guys who've been with him for years or who are around him every day. He's a great player. He's a great player. But all us talking heads, they know something. They must know something we don't know. Because, listen, he's been hurt. Everybody complains about his conditioning. But once you give a guy 5 years, $350 million, y'all are stuck together for life. So this is going to be a great trade to see what happens the next X amount of years. I think the Mavericks are a win. Because, listen, I don't know who the second best team in the West is. The Oklahoma City Thunder are terrific. But I actually think, in my opinion, the Mavs are in that conversation as the second best team there right now. And the Lakers got what they wanted. They got a superstar going forward. I do think this kind of sets the end to, like, the LeBron James making all the decisions. They're like, hey, we love you, LeBron, but we're going to start what's doing best for the Lakers. That's what I got out of this trade from a Lakers standpoint. Because I don't know if they didn't come tell LeBron, because, number one, Clutch Sports is Anthony's agent. But it seems like, to me, they're like, hey, you know what? LeBron's on his last legs. Let's start getting us a star for the future. And it's going to be fun to talk about this trade, sit back and watch who wins the trade. I think both teams have to win a championship to say they won the trade. Both teams have to win. The only way you can win this trade if you win the championship. Like I saw Nico say, they probably got a 3 to 5 year window because Kyrie's great, Anthony's great, and they got a really good team down there. The only downside with Luka being 25, they probably got a 10-year window. But whoever wins the championship is going to be the winner of this trade, plain and simple.